Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever around the world you are joining us. Welcome to another Kneat webinar, informational webinar. This time we're going to be looking at Muda and Mura mastery with some of our lovely colleagues from Capgemini. Before the presentation begins, just a couple housekeeping notes in case you haven't joined us for one of our webinars in a while or haven't joined us before. Welcome to our GoToWebinar platform. We do recommend that you use earphones or a headset to listen in on the event. That'll give you the best sound quality. I do want to mention you are in listen-only mode. You do not have access to your video or microphone as an attendee, so you will just be listening to the voices of our panelists today and seeing the slides. If you have any questions, you do have a questions box in the control panel, as you see here on the slide. Just type your questions into that box anytime throughout the presentation. We have some time built into the end of the webinar today to come back and answer as many as we can. If there are any questions we can't get to, or if they need more personalized feedback, we will get in contact with you. But of course, you can always send us your questions about Kneat, about the webinar, or any feedback that you might have at info@kneat.com. That's info@kneat.com. Your feedback's important to us. There'll be a little survey at the end of the webinar as well. We always want to know more about how we can improve our webinars and also what you want to hear about from our next informational webinars, especially as we're building out the 2024 calendar. On the next slide. Thank you. Is just a brief copyright and disclaimer statement. Just all rights reserved for Kneat Solutions. Anything that you're seeing here today is for discussion purposes, and we are sharing. Again, any more information you need, you can email us or find it on our website. Thank you. Next slide. And
hello.
I will waste no more time getting to the main event for today. We'll start out from hearing from our lovely colleagues at Capgemini on Muda and Mura mastery, enhancing quality and validation through digitization and process optimization. Stick around after Vincent's presentation here, as we'll hear a little bit about Kneat when it comes to Muda and Mura mastery, and then, like I said, we'll take your questions at the very end of the webinar. But for now, I'm very happy to introduce and pass off to, again, our colleagues and partners at Capgemini, and specifically Vincent Baehrel, who's here to share his presentation with us. Thank you so much, Vincent. Take it away.
Thank you, James. Welcome to this webinar. By way of introducing, let me share with you a few questions. Who never meets this tricky and uncomfortable situation where your department or your organization participate to a regulatory inspection and you have to produce or to justify that your systems and your processes are under control? Piece of cake, but not for everybody. Who never receive a notice informing that a regulatory inspection was scheduled for the following week or worse, the same day, and ask myself how to provide and showcase complete, accurate, and consistent evidence? What a challenge. Who never spend many time to find the right reports? Who never spend hours to rebuild the story of what was done within different incident or evolution? Who never got observation because the approbation workflow is not followed in the right order? Who never got a remark because the prerequisite was completed after the execution of the test? Who never searched the update version of such technical document noticed in a change management of the system? So who never fear paralyzed, mind blank, and no ability to provide coherent answers? This happened to all of us, in my opinion. It's our daily life. I will present to you my understanding, my expertise, and my feedback about our day-to-day qualification and validation activities and our challenges. Because the qualification and validation activities is challenging, and because these activities are complex and difficult to maintain, I will propose my approach based on simplification of the process first and screening of pain points and pitfalls by using the lean approach as the identification of Muda and Mura accordingly. And then how to kill them, to take over them within digital approach to minimize time spending, resource consuming, and the overflow of the administrative tasks. Please let me introduce myself. My name is Vincent Baehrel. I am pharmacist and quality expert with over 15 years of experience in pharmaceutical industry. I was responsible for continuous improvement at the group level and for performance enhancement. And one of my success factors was the digitalization of the process for sure. I'm currently work at Capgemini Engineering in the team compliance and performance to support customers in their development, modification, integration of business quality processes, lab processes, manufacturing, distribution processes, and regulatory processes as well. The compliance and performance team streamline, improve this business process within digital landscape. Here, please find the agenda. First, I will describe why the process optimization is the key success. Then I will deep dive in the process optimization in the leveraging technology to finalize with a conclusion on the main key benefits if you follow this journey. Now, I will describe why process optimization is a key success. This webinar is based on the concept to combine the principle of Muda and Mura on process optimization and digitalization to improve quality and validation in an organization. Process optimization focuses on identifying and eliminating inefficiency, bottlenecks, and variation on the workflow. By analyzing the management process, organization can identify areas where Muda and Mura exist and implement improvements. This can involve standardizing document templates, establishing clear review and approval process, implementing version control mechanism, and optimizing the overall workflow of documentation. Digitalization involves leveraging technology and digital tools to automate and streamline processes. And in our context, digitalization can include using document management system, electronic signature, automated workflow, and collaboration tools to digitize and automate various tasks and processes. This helps to reduce manual errors, improve efficiency, and enhance the overall quality of documentation. By combining digitalization and process optimization with the principle of Muda and Mura, organization can achieve significant improvement in quality and validation. But keep in mind one sentence: if you will not standardize the process, it's not going to happen. Let's now deep dive in the process optimization. This first picture showcases the fact that the qualification and validation is in the middle of the overall process. First, we've got the operational process surrounding by the system and its processes. Supporting, we've got the maintenance, the change management, and the calibration processes. The qualification and validation process is part or is in the middle of everything. This representation hereafter shown that the qualification and validation process is an heavy and very complex process, multi-step, multi-documentation documents, technical or to stick to the Deming methodology, protocol and report, multiple reference, user requirements, specification, multiple backtracking possible, heavy workflow for approval and communication. All this stuff is mandatory to justify the fact that any qualified system and validated process is under control. The consequence of that is also that we've got a lack of flexibility and a lack of efficiency if the process is not well designed. Muda and Mura are two concepts from the lean management that can apply to the qualification and validation management process. Muda refers to any activity or processes that does not add value to the final product or service. This type of waste increase cost and make tasks take much longer than they should. In our context, Muda can include activities such as excessive printing, unnecessary review or approvals, redundant documentation, or inefficient filling system. Identifying and eliminating Muda can help streamline the workflow, reduce waste, and improve overall efficiency. Mura, on the other hand, refers to unevenness or inconsistency in the workflow, irregularity, or any variation. In our context, Mura can manifest as uneven workflows, bottleneck in the review or approval process, or inconsistent document formatting or structure. Addressing Mura involves creating a standard and balanced workflow, ensuring that work is evenly distributed and eliminating any variation or inconsistencies that can cause delay or error. By applying the principle of Muda and Mura identification, this can lead faster document turnover times, improved accuracy, and better compliance with regulatory requirements. Now, I would like to present to you the main challenges that I identify concerning the qualification and validation process. The first one is time and resource consuming to produce documents in the same format to deal with cross-reference in user requirement or specification in several documents, or to cope with the boring workflow of approval cycles. The second challenge is to maintain a traceability compliance, as mentioned previously with cross-reference management, to maintain an up-to-date technical documentation to ensure the respect of ALCOA principle and the good documentation practices. The third challenge is recording evidence at the time of the execution, by the fact that multiplayer could be involved in testing phases, for instance, multiple source of information producer, and long cycle time that could foster staff rotation and recording evidence in non-homogeneous manner. The fourth challenge is maintain real-time status of any deliverables with appropriate system and processes overview available at any time, retrieval any deliverable easily and quickly, share best practices across different projects. And the last one, the last challenge, is the adherence with the guideline computer software assurance to figure out the appropriate level of qualification and validation activities and records based on a risk-based approach. Now, I try to categorize each challenge with the Muda and Mura principle. As I mentioned previously, Muda is an activity that does not add value to the final product or services. The fact to have a recurrent document with a similar format with no template defined, this activity does not add value. The fact to recreate afterwards the traceability matrix is a non-added value activity. The fact to run after the technical guy to assess that the version of the technical document is up to date is a non-added value. The fact to add control or assessment on document to be sure that they were always compliant with the ALCOA principle is a non-added value task as well. The fact to control in the text execution, for instance, that the order of the step of the run is done in the proper order, or that the stamp with the credential and the date of the user is well documented, is a non-value added task. The fact that the record document from different source on different location could be a non-added value task. The fact to retrain user for different way to record evidence depending on the system is a non-added value task. The fact to rebuild an overview for one system to prepare an inspection or an audit is a non-added value task. And the fact to search on different location documents for the same system because records are not centralized is a non-added value task. Concerning Mura, Mura refers to unevenness, inconsistency in the workflow, irregularity, and variation. The fact to not manage cross-reference across the life cycle documentation is an irregularity that could involve major issue. The fact that the approval cycles is not optimized is an inconsistency that could create a bottleneck situation with no-go consequence. The fact that best practices were not shared between project and between entity is a variation that could impact the performance and then increase a lot the resource consuming. And the fact to not develop a risk-based approach regarding the effort to produce documentation aligned with the intended use is an inconsistency regarding the performance of the process itself. On the following slide, I would like to show that solving Muda and Mura is a way to answer to the ALCOA principle properly. First, attributable, record evidence with credential, legible, contemporaneous, original, accurate, complete, consistent, available, and enduring, linked to the fact to decrease the paper documentation. To summarize, in my wildest wish list, what were the 4 major aspects to focus on optimize qualification and validation desired functionalities? My first wish was standardize the process with a predefined validation package, share common template, and a unique library for requirement or testing and so on. My second wish was early stage design capitalization with auto-generate and dynamically maintain the trace matrix. Sorry. My third wish was system status and deliverable up to date at any time. And my last wish is the tailored shareability for unique repository, allow multiple site scalability, and in favor to exchange with external partner documents which participate to put system and processes under control. Now I will deep dive in the leveraging technology. First of all, we need to define our level of digital maturity. Digital maturity refers to the level of an organization's capability to efficiently leverage digital technology and processes to drive innovation, efficiency, and competitiveness. It's defined according to 4 levels, from the basis level to the intelligence level. For the basis level, where people work in siloed way and duplicate activity with lots of manual activity, to the advanced level where harmonized practices and processes are defined, where source of data are standardized and some system connected, to leading level where further abilities are in place as lean processes, data-driven, and digitalization means convert in digital format, to intelligent level where data-driven in real time is in place with right level of AI embedded solution, automation, and digitalization. Depending on your maturity and objective, the key to build a roadmap process to digital transformation is, from my opinion, first of all, dematerialize as such as possible and think paperless. Then simplify the process within the lean methods as mentioned previously with eliminating Muda and Mura. And finally, identify challenges and pain points before thinking digital solution. In another way, and once again, I would like to recall, if you were not standardize the process first, it's not going to happen. But to go on the pathway, the first step is to define where we are, to assess your current status of your process, to convert in digital format, as I mentioned previously, to simplify the process, to standardize the process also, and to identify pain points. After, you need to define where you want to go, identify needs and constraints, formalize business requirements, define a roadmap, redesign the process where necessary, and define KPI on the current status, then on the new process to assess the efficiency of the change. And the last point is how we will go to determine, to define migration strategy if needed, or to define decommissioning strategy if it's the request, to streamline the new process with the best habits, training, knowledge enhancement, and process description, and to define a gradual integration strategy, system by system or groups of systems in the new process. In conclusion, I would like to present the 6 key benefits to simplify the process with the identification of Muda and Mura and to implement a digital way to conduct this process. First of all, I would like to introduce the fact that the percentage as announced is based on experience of both process optimization and digitalization. The first benefit is a better value on the work done. That means time saving for manager, reallocating resources on added value activities, and improve team commitment. The second is an acceleration of the qualification and validation flow. It translates by reducing the overdue document workload within a consolidated view of document in progress, and by reducing the cycle time. The third one concerns the fact to increase the capacity due to reduction non-added value task, as I mentioned previously, due to share practices and data between different sites. The fourth one is the reduction of waste. as time saving in terms of training, limitation of issue related to human error, or to avoid to rebuild by detection at early stage in design phase the issue. The fifth one is to facilitate the inspection and audit readiness due to the fact it will decrease the preparation time. And the last one, but not the least, to participate to the in silico approach. In silico inspection refers to use of computer simulation and modeling techniques to inspect and evaluate the quality of the process. It can be applied within qualification and validation processes in various ways. Predicting modeling to predict the behavior and the performance of a process before physical testing and implementation. This allows for early identification potential issues or optimization of parameters, reducing the need for excessive physical testing. Risk assessment by simulating different scenarios and analyzing potential risk, identify critical control points, determining the necessary validation activity, and prioritizing resources and effort for validation. Process optimization to optimize process manufacturing by simulating different process parameters ahead to the start of the production, and regulatory compliance to provide evidence of compliance by simulating and demonstrating the efficiency of the processes or the system, and by providing additional data and reducing the need of excessive physical testing. Overall, in silico inspection can enhance the quality and the qualification and validation process by providing predictive insight, optimizing process, and supporting regulatory compliance. It can help in reducing costs, improving efficiency, and ensuring the quality of processes and systems. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you for the person who helped me to prepare this deck, Frédéric Burger, Karen Hochheimer, Thomas Fisset, Adeline Thériac et Fouad Sadji.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Vincent. That was a great presentation, a great introduction to Muda and Mura mastery. And I'm eager to see how Mark wraps it into Kneat and Kneat GX as a platform. But first, I want to take a quick poll of our audience here. So this poll is going to pop up on your screen in just a moment. And we'd like for you to choose one of the options that best describes where you are at on your stage, which stage you're at of your journey to digitization. Is it starting with this webinar today? Are you doing some initial discovery and some preparatory work and getting discussions done to get ready to launch digitally? Are you about to launch your first digital validation project? Do you have some being delivered digitally and you're considering how to scale and move up? Or do you have multiple projects across sites being validated digitally? Where are you at when it comes to digitally validating your projects? Okay, so some of the initial results come in. We've got about a third of people who are in the webinar today who have multiple projects across sites. And then the other, about 60% are either starting today with this webinar in digital validation, or they're in some initial discovery still. So a lot of newcomers to digital validation, a lot of people who are just starting out their journey, which is great. But then the other 30% who have multiple projects. That is fantastic to see. So thank you for everyone who's voted in that poll and shown us where you're at. Again, my name is James Carey. I'm the digital events manager for Kneat Solutions. I think I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning of the webinar. I'm joined today not only by Vincent, but also Kneat's own digital validation expert, Mark Foley, who will talk about Kneat GX as a platform and give us a short demo here, or a little taste to see what the platform looks like. Before I pass it over to Mark, though, I'm going to talk a little bit about Kneat as a company. So Kneat is a publicly traded company listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and we're held to a high governance standards. And we are held to those high standards because we are a big and growing company. We have a lot of pluses on the screen. I'm going to say plus a lot of times, but those are important because these numbers are never fully accurate. We're constantly growing, both in our employees, of which we have 280 plus employees right now, with 140 in project development and 50 in professional services. Again, those numbers don't quite add up, so there's a lot of growth there. But we are the validation platform of choice for 8 of the top 10 life science companies, and that's including 3 of the 4 major COVID vaccine manufacturers. We have 80 plus customers in North America, Europe, and Asia, all around the globe. And again, that plus is important because we're growing all the time. And 40,000 plus users on our software as a service platform. 150 plus global site deployments and 40 plus global partners. Many of those partners you'll hear from in our informational webinars once or twice a month. And we operate all over the globe, so we're constantly working. We've got offices in Ireland, France, Germany, Switzerland, Denmark, Canada, and the United States. So no matter what time of day it is, we are always working somewhere around the world. And that's important because all of our development is done in-house. We do not outsource any of our development for the platform for quality reasons and because we are held to those high governance standards. We are ISO certified in those 2 spaces. And so why do 8 of the world's top 10 life science companies choose Kneat? Well, the answer really comes down to simplicity. It's one platform that works for any work process. It eliminates 100% of paper waste. It's proven to reduce cycle times, proven to reduce skilled labor hours, and proven to reduce validation costs. It's easy to use, easy to train, and easy to scale, and it's audit ready at any time. It automatically enforces data integrity and paperless test execution, including on-site with smart devices. So like I alluded to, it is available on any smart device you have, your computer, your mobile, your tablet. Any of those devices can be logged into Kneat from anywhere with an internet connection, and you are securely logged into your database with your information, able to search through all of your digital validation processes for the right signatures at the right time to make sure everything is up to snuff and ready for an audit at any point. That's eliminating 100% of the paper from the validation lifecycle process. So what exactly is Kneat GX? And I will definitely let Mark get more into it in his demo in a few minutes, but it is a software as a service validation lifecycle management platform that digitizes validation from end to end, enabling regulated companies to make validation easier, faster, and smarter. I'll let Mark dive into some of the details of what that means. Really, I'm just here to show the numbers. I alluded to Kneat being proven to reduce a various number of aspects here. So here are some numbers, and again, all of these were found in various independent customer benchmarking studies of customers using Kneat as a platform. 85% reduction in equipment changeover time, 50% reduction in validation lifecycle time, 50 to 65% reduction in labor hours and cost, and over $800,000 saved in ERP deployment. That's roughly 65% fewer validation labor hours, about 46% fewer process steps, and 40% more efficient than leading competitors in the digital validation space. Again, those are not just our numbers, those are from independent partner benchmarking studies on why people are choosing Kneat. So what exactly are people choosing? That's a great question, and I am happy to introduce Mark Foley, our digital validation expert, to walk us through a demo of the Kneat GX platform. Yeah, thank you so much, Mark. We are right at the end here, so I will go ahead and thank everyone, show our contact information again. You can always email us at info@kneat.com or find more information as well as the recording of this and many other webinars on our excuse me, on our website at kneat.com. We did have one question in here. I'll see if I can quickly get it in before the top of the hour. I think this is for you, Mark. Can the deviation form be configured to record that data in a separate deviation document?
Yes, it can. So the deviation form can be created in a number of different ways. You can create it by embedding it in your test cell. You can also create them within a folder anywhere within the system, or you can use a deviation log to automatically kick off deviation activities. You can then, it depends on how you set up your templates. So the deviation discrepancy forms will be based on roughly on the template that you might have already. Our team will work with you to ensure that you're able to share all of the information you need. So your deviation might have a status, an impact, GMP, GDP, critical, non-critical, etc. All of those values will be properties within the system, which you can then share to other documents or also share into reports. So you'll be able to filter your reports by those values. So hopefully I've answered your question. The basis of it is the deviation discrepancy forms, whatever they are, will be based on your templates, modified to ensure that we're able to share the information and report on exactly what you need to do within the system. So long answer to a short question.
Excellent. Thanks, Mark. Well, I have to assume that the lack of any other questions was because all of our information today was presented in such a fantastic manner that there couldn't possibly be any questions. But of course, if any questions come up, folks can always email us for a private demo that is more specified to their needs and answering their questions at kneat.com or by emailing info@kneat.com. And let us know what you thought about the webinar, what you'd like to see in the future. And just give us your thoughts at info@kneat.com. Like I mentioned, all of our past webinars as well as future upcoming webinars can be found at kneat.com. And we have another monthly demo webinar coming up at the end of October. We do one every month that is a longer, more in-depth version of what Mark showed with another one of our subject matter experts. But with that, I will thank Mark and I will thank Vincent so much and Capgemini for presenting on Muda and Mura Mastery today. It was a great webinar, and we look back to having all of you and Capgemini back with us soon for another neat informational webinar. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.